Good day everyone. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at my US Neo Geo AES collection. Today we are going through my Neo Geo collection. I have my AES, I have my AES right there, games for it, the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and down here the Neo Geo X console, which, you know, is not that old. I can't get that nasty glare off that box. It's bugging me, but no matter which way I face the light with the camera, I can't get that glare off there. I'm sorry. But we're going to change positions in a minute, so who cares? I got this stuff about 4 or 5 years ago now. I got most of the stuff all at once as far as the AES is concerned. The Pocket I got off eBay a while ago, and the gold guy, this guy down here, which is not lighting up, that I got from GameStop when it first came out. I pre-ordered that because I really wanted one. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and open up that AES box and show you guys the inside of it. So this is the box for the AES. So this is the front of the box. It's a big box. I think it's like 2 feet by 1.5 feet. It's a 24 inches by 18 inches. It's a big box. I'm gonna flip it over to the back. We'll check out what's back there first, then we'll go inside. As you can see on the back of the box here, you have what would typically be on the back of any game system box. You have, picture of the system, different things with it. The gold system has some stats here, some stats down here. Games for the system, stuff like that. Right here, Neo Geo AES Gold system. Comes with the system, 2 controllers, a game, either NAM 1975 or Baseball Stars. This is the NAM 1975 version that I have. RF adapter, warranty. Picture of what's in the box, figuring out which game you got. Other games for the system, we got Riding Hero up there, Ninja Combat, Cyberlip. Little stats about the system, and then over here the technical details. The Z88 processor, 64M for character capacity, sprite size, number of sprites, and the direct ROM access capability. That's the megs they always talk about. Like 350 Megashock or 330 Megashock, stuff like that, and the channels, and the memory card info right here. So I'm gonna flip the box over. We're gonna look inside, and we'll see what was inside there. Kind of like opening a treasure chest. So the only thing about mine here is it's not complete. There should be one more styrofoam around that second controller, and there should also be, I think, another book that's not here. And I didn't have the original AV cord. I have one that works, but didn't have the original, and I don't have the memory card for it. As far as the books go, you have this little quick start guide right here. So you have this little quick start guide. That's what that is, showing how to connect it to your TV. And then you have the owner's manual right there with the typical, Neo Geo stuff in it. Typical NE stuff. How to put a cartridge in, how to turn it on, all that fun stuff. As far as in here goes, obviously I bagged these myself, so they look nice. This is the RF cord and the power supply for it. Power supply is a little bigger than the one for the Era, but that's how big that is. That's a cable connector. This was in the box when I got it. I assume it's the one that came with it, but there's no way for me to tell that. This is the console itself. This is a US console. This is styrofoam pieces on it, that's all. This is not a Japanese console. You got one controller down here. I'll leave that where it is. And you have second controller right here. Obviously they're identical. Nice clicky buttons, all that kind of stuff. The top of the ball here is cracked. I think this is really common with these. They all seem to do that. They all seem to crack. This one's a little worn out right here. Still works, but this little plastic piece is a little worn down. And of course, like I said before, this is the one that came with the NAM 1975 game. Has that stuff there. It's in the shock box. Got the game, got the book in there, and there's the big old cartridge with the 2 edge connectors in it. I don't mind not having the factory AV cord, but it kind of sucks I don't have the memory card. The person I got it from had told me he knew where the memory card was and he was going to mail it to me. Surprise, surprise, he never did. All right, let's move on to the games. Now, the games for the system I have all, they're all English games except for one. Most of these games I got when I picked up the system, so we'll just go through them real quick. They're mostly all in their shock box, which is what Neo Geo calls these plastic cases. So they're in their boxes. Some of them have the instructions, some don't, and they all have the game card. So right here we have Baseball Stars 2. All right, we have Burning Fight. This is like a Final Fight type game. It's pretty fun. It's just a beat 'em up. This is one of those, a lot of these are actually these, they call them dog tag games because they have this Neo Geo angry looking dog right here. As far as instructions for one of these games, color cover, the inside is black and white, but it gives a little synopsis of the game, how to play, how the buttons work, items in the game, which I guess in this game include french fries and sodas and pendants and coins and a camera. All right, this is Cyberlip. This game to me is kind of like a, almost like a, it's a running gun. It's kind of like Metal Slug, but not as refined. And this was earlier. Also, all these games here, if you notice, you can also almost tell by the 50 mega count. A lot of the games are the earlier Neo Geo games. So we got Fatal Fury and Fatal Fury 2. As you can tell, the artwork got a lot. Artwork on the first one is very generic. On the second one, you started getting into what the rest of the artwork looked like on the rest of the series for these games. Yeah, Football Frenzy. It's a pretty, again, generic. It's a real simple type game, but it's fun. One thing about all these games is they're fun. They're all fun games. All right, so this is League Bowling. This one shows it's a 26 meg game, and this one actually shows as 1 to 4 players. Now, as far as most people realize, and as far as I realize, there was no 4-way tap release for the Neo Geo. So how did you manage to have a 4-player game with only 2 controllers? Well, here's the answer. Some games, and I believe I have 2 like this, have a little headphone slot on the top, and it shows on here that it is the communication function jack. So what you would do is you would need 2 copies of the game, 2 Neo Geos, and 4 controllers, and you would connect the 2 games together with a headphone plug. Oh, you need 2 TVs too. And you would play a 4-player game. Yeah, so if they weren't already expensive enough, you need 2 of everything. All right, so this is Magician Lord. This is a platformer. This is probably one of the most common Neo Geo games for the AES that a lot of people have. It seemed to be just really popular for a lot of people to buy. It's a fun game though, and it's very colorful. It's really fun. This is Ninja Combat. This is another really fun game. Simple, earlier game. Same thing with this. Shock box, game, instructions. I can't find a good example of it, but one of my instruction booklets, I forget which one, actually mentions about this system being a rental system. And so that's how you can also tell they're earlier, because some of the stuff inside mentions about being rentals and not, like when they wanted to have it for hotels and stuff like that. All right, so this is Riding Hero. This is another game that is a communication game. So same thing, 2 games, 2 systems, 2 TVs, controllers, and you would, I think this is for a 2-player experience on this one. So that's the game right here. I don't know if the communication cord was official. I'm sure there was an official cord, but if there is one, I don't have it. This is Super Sidekicks 2. This is a soccer game. These are really popular for the system as well. This one right here actually has a game store label on it. So this one was originally from Game Dude out of what is this from? Hollywood, California. So somehow it made it all the way across the country to me. This is Super Spy. This game stands out as far as artwork wise. It's not like the black with the frame around it. This one is, look at that. They don't put stuff like that in games now, do they? Not games for kids. This game is pretty simple. I don't think this was a link-up game. No, this is just... this one, however, you can't really see it on the camera, but there's actually two labels here. It looks like this was overlaid over probably the Japanese label. Super Spy. Top Players Golf. First Class Competition. It's okay. It's a golf game. It looks nice though. It's very colorful. Now, those are the games I got with the system, them including the NAM 1975, which is I keep in the box there because it came with it. This game I got separately. I bought this about a year ago. This was at one of our local game stores. This is a Japanese copy of Samurai Showdown, known there as Samurai Spirits. You know, see, the shock box is identical. The instructions fall out. Instructions. The game cart, identical. Yes, it does play on the American system, and because of that, and because of the way these games are, the game will recognize it's a United States or American BIOS, and will play the game with American titles on it. Just how it works. And you can see on the side here, Katana Battle action game, and then something in Japanese. It was 30 bucks. I actually did this as a trade. I traded them in a Super NES I had, an extra, and I got this game for it. So that's all the AES stuff I have. This right here is the Neo Geo Gold, the X version. So this was the portable system. Came with a controller, just like the regular ones, but I believe this was USB instead. The console itself, which is a handheld, and then a replica, slightly smaller Neo Geo console, which this goes into and then plugs into your TV. And it came with a bunch of Neo Geo games built in. Some that I have carts of, and some that I don't. 20 games preloaded, and then it has a separate SD card looking thing for Ninja Masters. There are other SD type games for this. I don't have them, unfortunately. Right here is my Neo Geo Pocket Color. This is a nice little system. This box is extremely simple for it. And this is the blue one. Right there. I think this system would have did a lot better if it was backlit, because as far as quality-wise, the games are really fun for it. The system is really well made. The screen's clear. It's just, you know, not backlit. I have a Metal Slug first mission for it, Metal Slug second mission, Card Fighters Clash, Dark Arms, and Dive Alert. All right, so that is the Neo Geo AES collection, the X, and the Neo Geo Pocket Color that I have. As far as how I got everything, the AES stuff was all a package deal except for the Samurai Spirits game. I got that separate, as I had said before. Everything was, you know, a good deal at the time. I got it from the person who says at least they were the original owner of it since they were a kid. And he kept it over the years because he figured, you know, it would be worth something at some point, and it did retain its value. I got a good deal on it, which I was very happy with at the time, and I'm still happy with what I paid for it. Neo Geo AES collecting is very expensive, and I don't think I'd be able to get anywhere close to getting into it now, so I kind of lucked out that way, and I do fully admit that. If you want to get into AES collecting, you got to have deep pockets. That's why, unfortunately, I don't have any more games for it, because it's just really expensive. You know, all the games. I mean, if you can, look for Japanese games. Don't go for American games. They are way too much money. Japanese games, and if you can afford to get the converter to play the arcade carts on the system, just do that. I still want to look into that, because there's games I want for it. I want like Metal Slug, especially Metal Slug 3. And, you know, the other ones in the series, I want like Puzzle Bobble and a few others that are just way too much money to buy the American versions. So hopefully I can get the multi-cart and just play in that way. Just far easier. Anyways, guys, I do appreciate you watching, as always, and I will see you next time.